Want to know exactly what to do when people treat you differently because of your age? I'm talking about those moments at the doctor's office, at family gatherings, or even at stores. You know, when they speak to you like you're invisible or can't understand simple things. Today, I'm sharing 6 specific things you can do to command instant respect. Not general advice, not complicated techniques, just clear, simple actions that work especially well when you're older. These aren't just theories, they're proven moves I've seen transform how people treat thousands of seniors. What you'll learn today will change how people respond to you, starting immediately. Before we dive in, tell me, what city are you watching from? Drop it in the comments below. And if you're ready to command the respect you deserve, hit that subscribe button. Let's dive in. 1. Do this when someone interrupts you. Let me show you exactly what to do when someone cuts you off or talks over you. This works especially well after 50, and I've seen it transform situations instantly. Here's what you do. The moment someone interrupts you, stop talking completely. Don't try to talk over them. Don't show frustration. Instead, keep your eyes focused directly on them. Maintain a slight, knowing smile. Then count to 3 in your head. This silence is your power move. When they finish, don't jump back in. Instead, wait 2 more seconds. Then say these exact words. I noticed you had something urgent to add. Now, as I was saying, keep your voice calm and slightly lower than usual. Let me tell you about Mike, a 67-year-old viewer who tried this in a family meeting. His adult kids had a habit of interrupting him about everything. He used this technique during their weekly dinner. The first time he did it, complete silence, steady gaze, slight smile. His son actually apologized mid-sentence. By the 3rd time, no one dared interrupt him. Why does this work so well when you're older? Because it uses psychology in your favor. Young people expect us to either get frustrated or give up when interrupted. When you stay calm and controlled, it reminds them of every authority figure they've ever respected. Remember, the power is in the details. Never look down or away. Keep that eye contact strong. When you start speaking again, don't rush your words. That steady, slightly lower voice sends a clear message. You've seen this behavior before, and it doesn't shake you. Keep that slight smile. It shows wisdom, not weakness. This isn't about being aggressive. It's about showing quiet confidence that only comes with age. You're not fighting for attention. You're expecting it. That's the difference that makes people stop and listen. I want you to try this next time someone interrupts you. Don't wait for a special occasion. Use it the very next time it happens. You'll be amazed how quickly people's behavior changes. In a moment, I'll show you what to do when people try to dismiss your ideas. But first, tell me, how often do you deal with people interrupting you? Share your experience below. Let's talk about this, because it happens to all of us, and it stops today. 2. Do this when people underestimate you. Today, I'm sharing something powerful. You can do the moment someone underestimates you because of your age. You know those situations, when they explain basic things to you like you're a child, or dismiss your input because they think you're out of touch. Here's exactly what to do. The moment you sense they're underestimating you, let them finish their explanation. Don't interrupt. Then lean forward slightly and say these exact words. That reminds me of what we learned when we handled this in mention a year before they were born. Your voice should be warm, like you're sharing something valuable, not proving them wrong. Let me tell you about Martha. She's 72. At her granddaughter's wedding planning, everyone was discussing modern wedding trends like they were revolutionary. Martha waited for her moment, then said, "This reminds me of the themed weddings we planned in 1975. Let me tell you what we learned about what works and what causes problems." Suddenly, everyone stopped and really listened. Why? because she wasn't just sharing an opinion, she was sharing history they couldn't possibly have. The key is in your delivery. Don't be defensive. Don't try to prove you're still sharp. Instead, share your experience like you're offering a gift. Your age isn't something to overcome. It's your secret weapon. Every grey hair represents a lesson learned, a problem solved, a situation handled. Think about it. When young people share ideas, they're usually repeating what they've read or heard. But when you share something, you're talking about what you've actually lived through. That's powerful. That's real authority. Here's why this works so well. Young people can Google information, but they can't Google experience. When you calmly share a real-life example from decades ago, you're offering something they literally cannot access any other way. Try this next time someone starts over-explaining something basic to you. Watch how quickly their attitude changes. Watch how others in the room start looking at you differently. Because here's the truth. Respect doesn't come from proving you can keep up with young people. It comes from showing them what they can learn from you. Coming up next, I'll show you what to do in professional settings. But first, tell me about a time someone underestimated you because of your age. How did it make you feel? Share your story in the comments below. Let's talk about this together. 3. Do this in professional settings. Let me show you exactly what to do in professional settings. Meetings, business discussions, workplace situations. This technique is pure gold, and it works especially well when you're the oldest person in the room. Here's what to do. When you enter any professional situation, immediately take control of your physical space. Don't rush to sit down. Don't try to blend in. Instead, move deliberately slower than everyone else. Take your time arranging your things. Pull out a real paper notebook and pen. Yes, even if everyone else is using phones and laptops. John, a 64-year-old consultant, used this perfectly. In a room full of young tech executives, he didn't try to match their rushed energy. Instead, he moved with purpose, placed his notebook carefully, uncapped his pen slowly. The whole room naturally slowed down to match his pace. Why? Because deliberate movements command attention. Now here's the power move. When someone asks your opinion, don't answer immediately. Take out your pen, write something down, look thoughtful, then say, based on what I've seen over the years. Notice, I didn't say, in my experience. That sounds defensive. You're sharing observations, not justifying yourself. The magic happens in how you speak. Keep your voice at a steady, slightly lower volume than others. Don't try to sound energetic or young. Own your age, own your wisdom. When everyone's talking fast, your slower, measured words stand out. They carry weight. Remember what worked for Helen, a 69-year-old board member? When younger members rushed through presentations, she'd simply say, let's slow down and consider what we might be missing. Simple words, but they changed the entire meeting's dynamic. This works because it uses psychology. Young professionals are used to speed, quick decisions, fast talks, rapid changes. Your deliberate pace feels like authority to them. It reminds them of senior executives they've respected. Try this in your next professional interaction. Don't wait for a big meeting. Use it at the bank, at business lunches, anywhere you need professional respect. Watch how people's behavior changes when you stop trying to keep up with their pace and instead make them match yours. Next, I'll show you what to do when facing direct age discrimination. But first, share in the comments. What's your most challenging professional situation? Let's solve this together. 4. Do this when facing age discrimination. Let's talk about what to do when someone openly shows age discrimination. Maybe they make comments about technology being too complicated for your age, or suggest you might want to let someone younger handle this. I'm going to show you exactly how to turn these moments into opportunities for instant respect. Here's your power move. The moment someone makes an age-related comment, smile calmly and say these exact words. You know what's interesting about that? Then pause for 2 full seconds. In that pause, they'll expect you to be offended. Instead say, "I've noticed how things circle back. What you're calling new, I've actually seen work before, just in a different way." Let me tell you about Ruth, who's 73. At her community meeting, a 30-something member suggested she step down from the technology committee because of her age. Instead of getting upset, Ruth used this technique. She smiled and said, "You know what's interesting? The basics of good technology haven't changed. They've just gotten faster. Let me show you what I mean." She then pulled out her phone and demonstrated how she manages 5 social media accounts for local businesses. The key is staying calm. No defensiveness, no anger. When you respond to age discrimination with quiet confidence, you're not just handling one situation. You're changing how people see every older person they meet. Think of it this way. When someone discriminates based on age, they're actually giving you a perfect opportunity to prove them wrong. Not through arguments, but through actions. Every time you respond with calm wisdom instead of emotion, you win. Sarah, another viewer who's 68, used this at her doctor's office. When a young nurse started explaining blood pressure readings like she was talking to a child, Sarah smiled and said, "You know what's interesting? I've been tracking my own readings since before digital monitors existed. Would you like to see my system?" The nurse ended up taking notes. Use this technique anytime someone suggests your age is a limitation. Don't fight. Don't defend. Instead, turn it into a teaching moment. Because here's the truth. Age discrimination often comes from ignorance, not malice. When you respond with wisdom instead of weakness, you're not just earning respect, you're educating. Coming up next, I'll show you what to do with family members who treat you differently because of age. But first, tell me, what's the most frustrating age-related comment you've heard? Share below. Let's tackle this together. 5. Do this with family members. Let's talk about something that really hits home. When your own family starts treating you differently because of your age, you know those moments. When your adult kids try to take over your decisions, or your grandkids act like you can't understand modern life. I'm going to show you exactly what to do. Here's your power move. Next time a family member tries to take control or make decisions for you, use what I call the remember when technique. When they start that overprotective behavior, look them directly in the eye and say, "Remember when you were 16 and faced that big decision?" Then share how you guided them through a similar situation. Let me show you how Linda, who's 70, used this perfectly. Her daughter kept trying to manage her finances. Instead of getting defensive, Linda waited for the right moment and said, "Remember when you were struggling with your first budget? Remember who taught you about emergency funds?" Then she pulled out her perfectly organized financial records. Her daughter stopped the money lectures that day. This works because it gently reminds them of an important truth. You didn't just become their parent yesterday. You've been solving problems since before they could walk. You're not less capable now. You're more experienced. The secret is in the timing. Don't use this when you're feeling frustrated. Wait for a calm moment. Keep your voice warm and confident. You're not criticizing. You're reminding them of your strength. Big difference. Tom, who's 75, does this brilliantly with his tech-savvy grandkids. When they start those slow, oversimplified tech explanations, he says, "Remember who taught your parents to use their first computer? Now show me what's new about this one." See how he turns it into a sharing moment instead of a teaching lesson? Use this approach at family gatherings, during phone calls, or any time family members start that overprotective behavior. Don't get upset. Don't argue. Just quietly remind them of your lifetime of wisdom. Because here's the truth. Family means well, but sometimes they forget who you are. They forget all the years you spent being the strong one, the wise one, the one with answers. Your job isn't to fight their help, it's to remind them of your strength. Next, I'll show you how to handle any social situation. But first, share in the comments. What's the most frustrating thing your family does thinking they're helping you? Let's talk about this, because it happens to all of us. 6. Do this in any social situation. Let's talk about social situations. Parties, community events, group gatherings. These can be tricky when you're older. Sometimes people either ignore you completely or treat you like you need special attention. I'm going to show you a simple move that changes everything. Here's exactly what to do. When you enter any social gathering, don't head straight for the familiar faces. Instead, find the person who's talking the most. Move close to their group, but don't join in yet. Just listen with a slight smile. When they finish their story or make their point, that's your moment. Say these words. That reminds me of something fascinating that happened in, mention a decade they haven't lived through. Let me tell you about Frank, who's 77. At his grandson's graduation party, all the parents were discussing modern education challenges. Frank listened quietly, then said, "You know, we faced something similar during the 1970s education reform. The solution we found might surprise you." Everyone stopped talking and turned to him. Within minutes, he was the center of attention. The key is confidence. Don't try to force your way into conversations. Don't compete with loud voices. Instead, let your calm presence draw people in. When younger folks are all trying to talk over each other, your quiet confidence stands out. Watch what Rose, 68, does at community meetings. When everyone's sharing opinions about neighborhood changes, she waits for a natural pause. Then she says, "I've seen this neighborhood go through 3 major changes. Here's what worked every time." People lean in because she's not just sharing an opinion, she's sharing history they can't find on Google. This works in any social setting because it uses natural curiosity in your favor. Young people might think they know everything, but deep down, they're curious about times they didn't experience. Your stories from decades ago aren't old news. They're fresh content to them. Use this technique at family gatherings, community events, or any social situation. Don't wait for people to include you. Create moments where they want to hear more. Because here's the truth. Social power isn't about being the loudest or the most energetic. It's about being the most interesting.